Hello, everyone, and thank you for watching us today. As Daniel mentioned, I'm founder and CEO at FAS Fintech Advisory Services. We're a consulting ecosystem that works with companies and helps them to grow their ideas into successful ventures in blockchain and fintech. We work with companies and help them to start from idea to market launch, and also work with established companies and help them with business acceleration. Let me start with my presentation, and I will share a few more details there. So, as I mentioned, FAS works with companies all over the world. And right now, we are covering 12 countries with our professional network of consultants from different industries. We're also quite well connected in the field, and we have more than 800 companies in our network, and we're always happy to connect our clients with those companies. We also, like in the past year, we worked with 32 startups and SMEs as advisors, mentors, and consultants. So let me begin covering some basics on building a strategy for smooth market launch. And as you all have noticed, the blockchain industry becomes more and more saturated with different applications appearing in the market. And if we talk about the cryptocurrency space, we all remember there are a lot of DeFi projects, security tokens, and of course the recent trend with NFTs projects. If we talk about blockchain technology in general, there are many different applications. For example, blockchain in telecommunication, in supply chain, logistics, traditional finance, and many other applications out there. And of course, if we talk about business strategy, it always should be tailored to a specific business need and business purpose. And of course, the domain that you are choosing within the blockchain. It would be a little bit challenging to cover all of them within the time of this presentation. So I will be covering the basics that will fit all businesses within blockchain domain. And let me begin with the purpose. I always ask founders to think about why they're building this project. And of course, they should be honest with themselves, because if they're saying to themselves that they're planning to change the world, but actually they're there for quick earnings, it will not make any difference for their business approach. So please be honest with yourself, understand what you are trying to achieve with your business. And in order to be successful on the market, it's very important to think and plan long term. Do you know these questions that people ask? How do you see yourself in 5 years, in 10 years? That's the place where you need to ask this question, because you need to have a clear vision to where you are heading with your business. And during this way, you have to plan every single step from time zero to your final destination. As I mentioned, we have so many different trends appearing on the market every year. And that's why I always recommend to act short term, act quickly, because those trends can help you to grow your business a lot. And if you're trying to jump into this boat, you always need to try to do it first. Because if you try to jump to the boat really late, when there are so many people in there, this boat is sinking. And it will not help your business that much if you can actually foresee and act quickly. So remember these simple steps. Think and plan long-term and act short-term, but understand the clear purpose of what you are trying to achieve with your business. And in FAS, we use a very simple 5W approach for a business strategy. That consists of 5 questions. And the first is, what is your product and service? Who are you offering it to? Where are you operating? Who are you? When are you launching? And which channels will you use? And right now I'm getting rid of 5W and replacing it with 6W, because I also think that it's important to understand what resources do you need in order to build and succeed with your business. So let's begin with the first step, your product and service. They should solve a real and urgent problem at the market. That's something that you should understand first thing when you're building your business. You also have to have unique features and offers that will differentiate your business from your competitors. You also need to have a clear message for your target audience, because you want your target audience to understand what you are trying to offer them. And of course, the revenue model. Let's be honest, you're still trying to earn some money, right? And in order to earn some money, you have to plan your revenue model and understand how you're gonna monetize. After you settled your product or service, it's time to think about the target audience. Who will actually benefit from your product or service? And I always suggest to build several profiles and start studying them in more detail. You can start from demographics, understanding where is they located, their age groups, gender groups, and other characteristics. The next will be the preferences. What do they like and what do they dislike? Behavior. You need to understand what do they use, when are they active, and many other behavioral aspects that will help you to plan your future marketing efforts. You also need to understand the pain points, something that they're suffering with, and understand the urgent need. Because last two things will help you with the problem-solution equation, and first three things will help you to define a clear message for your target audience to make sure that they got what you are trying to sell them. Now, let's talk about unique value proposition, how you actually gonna position yourself on the market and differentiate yourself from competitors. And in order to do this, you need to do an extensive competitor analysis and also analyze all possible substitutes out there, because that will help to understand what is special about your project. It can be technology or features that your competitors don't have. It can be a simple UX. Maybe your competitors have so many steps to register or to use their application, and you can do it as a one-click solution. It can be a business approach. Maybe instead of being too professional and formal, you want to be a bit more casual with your target audience. And of course, you can think about niche focus. For example, community of the group of underserved borrowers, and you have access to their community, and you know that your solution can address their needs and address their pain points, while your competitors are not thinking about this niche. Of course, there can be a good opportunity for you to actually address your solution and help and address this target group. With niche focus, you can grow both ways. Vertically, you can look for other niche on the market, or you can grow horizontally and look for different countries with the same niche of, let's say, underserved borrowers in our case. Once you determined your unique value proposition, you can finally think about those countries where you're planning to launch your business at. And when choosing a country, I usually list 5 conditions that should be met. Not necessarily all together, but at least a few conditions from the list will be a good signal for you that you chose the right market. And first is that you're located in this country. Second is that you know this market very well. Maybe you have good connections in this market, or you have strong partners, or you speak the language. Again, not necessarily all the conditions should be met, but at least a few of them would be crucial for you to have a success at that market. After that, I already mentioned previously that timing is also important when you're launching your business. And let's now figure out when and for how long your target audience need your product and service. So talking about timing and long-term value, you can ask yourself, does your target audience actually need your solution now? Do they need it urgent? These two questions will help to understand if the timing is right and you can launch now. Then you can ask yourself if your target audience will use the solution in future, or how long will they use it for. Last two questions will help you to determine a long-term value of your project. And once you understood that the timing is right and you're ready to launch, what else do you need? Channels and resources. There are a lot of different channels that you can choose for launching your project. I will list a few examples. For example, it can be strong partnerships in the industry, can be social media or different media publications, events, communities. For example, you can already have a big community where you want to launch with your new product. It can be an old word of mouth when you give your friends to use your, let's say, application, and they're so happy about it and keep telling their friends. That still works. There can be other channels. What's important to know about the channels is that your target audience must use these channels, because no matter how many messages you're gonna shoot out there, if your target audience don't use these channels, it will be a waste of time. So understand what channels your target audience use and use them to promote your business. Another important thing to launch successfully are the resources. First of all, you need to think about human resources, people who can help you to make this business happen. It can be connections, networks that can help to boost up your business. Those can be also funds, because of course you need money to pay people, you need money for marketing efforts. Maybe you need some equipment or technology, or even office or some specific venue. There can be so many different things you might need to launch your business. But what is important is to prioritize them. You need to understand which of those resources are the crucial ones for you to launch. And you need to find them ASAP. Once you already defined your channels, resources, and everything else, you can start a test launch. And during the test launch, you need to pay a special attention to a market validation, because you want to understand if you are doing the right thing and you're getting a good response. I would recommend to look at 3 metrics: user retention, consistent user growth, monthly active users. If you're in a service-based business, then you can look at client retention and client growth rate. You wouldn't need monthly active clients, of course. And the way to understand if your retention or growth rates are good and your business is well performing, you need well-established customer analytics. I always recommend to work with professionals who can build customer analytics strategy and integrate all the required tools in order to get the maximum feedback from your users and clients, and without irritating them with large questionnaires and endless questions. Always collect feedback and reviews as much as possible. That's the way how you can understand if everything is right or there is something wrong with your business. And one of the examples for software businesses is a Net Promoter Score that is widely used in different apps and websites, you simply ask your target audience a question: how likely will you recommend our solution to your friends? And they choose from 0 to 10. And of course, if you have a high NPS score, that means that your business performing quite well and people satisfied. The lower the score, the more signals you're getting that you need to improve something with your project. And what if you got a low conversion rate? I always say that you shouldn't be afraid of pivoting. And there are different issues that can happen with your business that can be a signal for you to pivot. It can be, for example, issues with idea and positioning. You might have a wrong message and talk to a right target audience that just don't understand what you're trying to sell them. It can be a wrong message to a wrong target audience, meaning that you might not have a solution that is needed as a market. You can have a right message, but you just picked wrong people to pitch to. Maybe you need to look for a better audience that will actually understand and value your solution. You can just have an initial project misjudgment. Maybe you need to do more research and understand how to adjust your project in ways that people will use it. There can be other ways. There can be other issues happening with a company. There can be even a lack of marketing efforts. If you did some social media campaign and people maybe didn't even understand the message, or you didn't do like enough reach, and you just like having troubles on this side. There can be still UX and design that people maybe didn't even understand that they need to download some app. Maybe the registration was so complicated that people didn't want to do it at all. And another thing that can happen is a low retention rate. That will also be a signal for you to do some pivoting. You can experience issues with the core product service on the business side. You can experience such issues on the tech and UX side. You also might face with the situation that market conditions has changed and your project is no longer needed as a market. That's of course a really worst case scenario, and you will need to do a lot of business reshaping. There can be other reasons. As I already mentioned, ask your target audience. Always have an open conversation with your users, with your clients. Get as much feedback as you can. That will help you to validate your idea and make sure that you are succeeding out there. And if you already did the test launch and you think that you're ready for official launch, let's do a really quick checklist. You are all set if your business strategy and action plan already well defined. You know what you are doing and you have all the steps in place. Your test launch was a success, or you learned from your test launch. Maybe you got enough feedback, you did some reshaping, and now you know that you are going with the right product. You also might have an audience waiting for you, and that will be an important factor for you to launch. There can be some community, there can be already clients that pre-subscribed, or you might have some people that said to you that they're willing to purchase your solution. You need to know that there are people waiting for you. And of course, strong support is crucial. It can be connections, partnerships, it can be some media help and assistance. All these 4 elements will be very crucial for you to succeed in the market. But of course, we cannot put all the things that are that crucial for your business in this short 4 elements. But just do like a quick checklist. If all these are in place, go in more detail. See if all the plans were made, if you have the strategy already well defined, if this audience that is waiting for you is actually waiting for you, and how many people you have, maybe you can get even more. Do the extra checking. But if there is something missing from this list, you need to do some extra job. I know that it was quite intense presentation. I will be really happy to answer questions during this webinar, and you always can reach out to me at LinkedIn. I'm very responsive. I'm always happy to answer the questions and help your business to grow. Thank you a lot for watching me,